How do I use RTI in my classroom? I guess I've always used RTI in my classroom without me really realizing it. Um, in my classroom, I work with all my students, which would be considered on the RTI scale the green or the tier 1 group. In that group, I do assessments, I take down notes, I gather up information with the children, and put them in their files. When I notice a child might be struggling or having a hard time with something, I'll make a note of that and address it in either that day or later that week. Um, a good example that I use, sorry, a good example that I use is a letter and letter recognition. That's a good one for me to help assess children and address the issues that might be there. If I notice that a child is struggling or children, I might break them down into a smaller group. And when breaking them down in a smaller group, I might only have 3 to 4 of them with me. This gives me opportunity to give each child a one-on-one time in the lesson, and also still being surrounded by their peers. So for the letter recognition, one thing I do use is, I wish I brought it home with me, it's a paper, and in the middle of it is a big letter, and the child can choose the writing material that they would want to use, and you trace the letter, and then around it are little circle bulbs, like bubbles that have different types of letters in them, and you need to match the letters to the letter that's in the middle. And then I get out my big bingo dabbers and they just have fun with that and they get to dab them. I have letters A through Z with them to help them recognize letters. If I notice that a child is struggling there, then they would be considered in the red group or the tier 2 or tier 3 group. Then I would start getting a little bit worried. I might reach out to the parents faster. I might reach out to the parents and then maybe set up a conference to go over the evidence learning that I found for them and see maybe their academic behavior at home is different than it is here, and trying to get a second party view of what's going on. And then I probably would reach out to my center director and to follow up what the next step would be.